All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Vays, coming to you live on this Thanksgiving United States holiday. Nothing really that special about the show other than it takes place on a U.S. holiday. Don't really have any guests. We will try to do a news show tomorrow for you guys with Jimmy Song. Lots of news is going on, which may or may not have taken the price of Bitcoin down. So it is time to just go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. Let me situate here. All right, here we go. Screen share, and here we go. Hey guys, I'm not gonna lie, the sales have been pretty damn good this week. So thank you so much to everyone that has been purchasing the on-demand videos while they are on this Black Friday sale. A couple of people, or I think just one person, even picked up one of the Tyler Jenks educational videos. So thank you very much for that as well. Most importantly, however, is the MRI indicator, which has definitely had plenty of interest this week because of the way it called the top so far this week. And let's go straight to the charts. Those that are interested, all my stuff is here. I'm not really doing much consulting right now, though several people reached out. And there's supposed to be multiple subscription services, one for MRI notifications and one for my private, like just videos, like similar to this. But I'm honestly just being lazy about doing it. There's no other excuse other than I don't know. I clearly don't like commitments to things. So because once this starts to feel like work, it's gonna, I may not be as happy doing it. So I've kind of been avoiding subscription services or offering subscription services. Anyway, let's go to the charts. Oh boy, Bitcoin, that's the 1-day chart. Let's go higher. Let's go straight to the monthly chart. We're not gonna see much because the move took place, well, mostly this morning. So we will have to wait. This is the Heikin-Ashi version. And it's going to be very interesting how this looks next month. Let's go to the regular version. The regular version also needs to update. So this would be a few $1,000s lower, or yeah. And we'll see how it looks. Either way, in a few days, we're going to get our monthly MRI top. I have to wait for those updates. The weekly is where all the action is. I have been warning since last week that this had a high probability of being a top for the year. Okay, I've said this many times. Now the year only has about 5 weeks left, so that's not a lot of time. So saying this has a potential of being a top for the year is not crazy. However, I'll also go back to 2017, where I made a similar statement in November saying that this has a good chance of being a top for the year when we hit 7,500, and then we ended up going to 20 over the next 3 weeks. So I, of course, changed my mind. I became a bull. I wasn't bearish all throughout the move from 7 to 20. That would have been crazy on my part. But a lot of people still think that I never changed my mind after that 7.5 top call. Now, in hindsight, I was only wrong by 3 weeks. However, in those 3 weeks, the price moved quite a bit. So what are we looking at now? Well, we still have half a week to go. So let's see what happens. This week could be disastrous, taking us down below 16,000 and closing there. Or this week could also go all the way up and close the week positively. Which way am I leaning? I am still leaning for more downside. I anticipated this move. I anticipated this top. That's why I exited the majority of my GBTC between last week and a little bit yesterday. Wish I took more off the table yesterday. I really do. I still have some GBTC. I didn't fully get out. I was going to fully get out of GBTC this Friday if we continue to rise. But I also didn't want to leave that GBTC premium, which crashed like a stone. I didn't want to leave that GBTC premium on the table, that huge GBTC premium. So I took a little bit off the table. I wish I did it not yesterday, but the day before. Today, the market is closed. And the market took a big nosedive even yesterday before market closed with the premium collapsing. So that's actually interesting because this stops trading at 4 p.m. When did Bitcoin start to fall? Because if Bitcoin started to fall after 4 p.m. yesterday, New York time, okay, so this was the fall. No, that's the 22nd. That's the 4-hour chart. I need to go to the 1-hour chart. This is, I need to see what happened here. So today is the 26th. So what happened at 4 p.m. on the 25th? Here's the 25th at 11, and we were going down late last night. And this is in the middle of the night. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. So by the end of the day, New York time, we were down a little bit. But see, I'm not sure it justifies this big drop and this crash in premium prior to the big crash. So that tells me that people that trade GBTC knew something. That's what this tells me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the chart tells me that this catastrophic fall, and I want to go to the 10-minute chart. I want to see when it accelerated, to be more specific. So GBTC formed this triangle on, I'm doing this analysis in real time. I didn't like plan this. So look, TA was there. And when was this? This was at 2 p.m. So the bottom dropped out on GBTC at 2 p.m. Now keep in mind that it went up quite a bit in the morning. So it flew up in the morning and then it fell in 2 stages. It fell around, wait. Oh, wait, that's 2 days ago. I'm sorry. There's a couple of days involved here. So this is the morning. Okay. So it fell at the end of the day before, and then it opened up in where this triangle starts. So let's move the triangle to the opening day, which is this day. Opening 10-minute candle, I mean. Okay, so this way, oh crap, now I can't see it. All right, I'm gonna move it to the day before. Okay, so this triangle represents, so that first candle represents the opening on Wednesday. Now I'm gonna put this side by side. I'm gonna do a split screen. I'm curious. This is how I do analysis, guys. I'm gonna do a split screen, and I'm just gonna take, let's say Coinbase. Can I change the ticker? Okay, so BTC USD on Coinbase, because Brian Armstrong might have been responsible for this big drop. And I want to even out, but okay, so this is a 24-hour market. That isn't. So I need 9:30 in the morning, New York time, yesterday. So that should be here. This is 9 in the morning, New York time on the 25th, right here. That's the candle. So, and where's end of day? End of day would be 4 p.m., which is here. Okay. So 4 p.m. is here. How do I mark that? I'm going to use replay mode just to get rid of it. This is the last candle. So let's take that out. Perfect. That's the last candle. So this needs to somehow match up, and let's see if it does. So here's my opening candle, and here's my opening candle. They're pretty much lined up. So I want to see if they were in line or GBTC people knew something. So it looks like they're pretty much in line. In fact, well, yeah, they're pretty much in line. Bitcoin dropped. I still think this is an unreasonably large drop, relatively speaking, yesterday for the day. Now going into 4 p.m. So percentage-wise, it's hard to justify it. The opening candle was here. So if I go top to bottom, that's 3%. But if I go top to bottom, see, that's 11%. That's, I know a lot of this has to do with the GBTC premium collapsing, but that's a big discrepancy. That's a big discrepancy. If I do it from open to bar close, that's 6%. If I do this from open to bar close at the low, that's 2%. That's still 3 times more. Look, I know GBTC premium matters, but that's a big discrepancy there. It's a little too big for my taste. So people trading GBTC somehow were smart to get out, and no one was buying GBTC, so the premium cratered. So just keep that in mind. And Tyler James used to talk about how GBTC pre-runs Bitcoin. So GBTC is the canary where a lot of financial institutions are able to quickly get in and out of GBTC before the moves in the underlying price of Bitcoin. He's mentioned this back in the day many times, that he's noticed that GBTC reacts earlier and faster to what Bitcoin's going to do. All right, let's go back to single view. So here we are. Ooh, this looks bad. Here's the 1 hour chart. And yes, the 1 hour chart did have a double top. As you guys know, I'm not a fan of double tops. I believe they're meant to be broken, which is why I was slightly more bullish than bearish on the hourly chart when this double top is happening. But and I was still slightly bullish on a daily scale, hoping that the stars and the moon will align for a top on Friday, Saturday with my daily MRI inside my weekly MRI. But I also made it very, very clear that I respect the weekly MRI. And that's why I started exiting my positions last week, because I didn't want to get caught with my pants down in a wrecked position. And that's why I got out last week. And I'm perfectly okay with not being able to time the top to the penny, because I was able to sleep very, very comfortably last night, knowing that I exited my speculative trade and not look like a fool on live YouTube. And what am I thinking now? Well, now I'm thinking we go a little bit lower. I just don't, I don't see a reason for this to stop, because let's see what the volume looks like. I don't actually even have volume. I'm sure it's high. I'm sure it's elevated. Let's look at the, well, look, the premium, the funding rate still favors the bears. Has not even reset yet, but this could be on a delay. This could be on like a day's delay. So we'll see what it looks like. The weekly MRI called it. I haven't looked at the Arun lately, but well, this thing is gonna flip in a hurry. If this thing goes a little bit lower, that thing's gonna flip in a hurry. The RSI told you to get out. The MACD has crossed. These are daily charts. Everything is turning. The ADX, what I was looking at here. The ADX is in a really crappy position. The ADX actually just told you to go long, and that certainly ain't working out. ADX is, I believe, one of the most complicated indicators. I hate teaching it, but I do. It's part of my TA workshop. And the CMF still looks bullish, but definitely not as bullish. Things are not looking very good right now on the daily scale, nor the weekly scale, because the weekly, I believe, will be more than just a few days correction. I do believe this is a 1 to 4 week correction with the most likely target around this weekly moving average, whatever that weekly moving average is. I believe it's a 20-week moving average. I believe that's 20, 50, and 200. This is our consensio. Let me see, 20, 50, 200, correct. I think the 20-period moving average is the most likely outcome. And if that takes about 4 weeks to get there, that's 14,000. Okay, all signs point to 14. Now, we also have the 50-period moving average on the daily scale. You can see I drew this arrow. Might have drawn this arrow a few days too early, but I clearly wasn't wrong. And that's why I started exiting here. And that remains my target. Maybe if it takes a few extra days, we can avoid breaking the support line. We could also swing down into 14,000 and then close the day above 15.3 to avoid closing below the support line. So it's possible the support line would hold, and we have triple support here. That looks like some kind of a Fibonacci line from before. Speaking of Fibonacci's, Fibo Swanee, who's in the live chat, I was going to have him join me for a few minutes. He couldn't, but he did send me one of his charts, which may or may not be a good idea for me to show, but I'll show it anyway, though I may have no idea what it means. But since I'm talking about Fibonacci's, I'll throw it on here. So right here, he has a Fibonacci line at 16,179 saying a buyer here if the daily RSI zone holds. But we already hit this zone, so I'm not sure. I mean, he might have had this, probably did before the big drop. But to me, hitting 16.3 is no different than hitting 16.2, which is what this is. If I zoom in a little bit. And what did we hit? What was the low today? The low today was 16,317. So it's only off by about $140. So that to me is, close enough. So to me, this zone has been hit. The question is, are we going to go into the next zone? So I think it's likely that we will. And his next zone is also in the $14,000 area. And I think that zone is also likely. If I put my own Fibonacci's on this, it would be challenging for me to put a Fibonacci on this because I don't have a clear low. So this becomes a little tricky here because there wasn't a swing low. I can use this swing low into that swing high, and I'm using the wrong tool. I guess I can use this swing low into this swing high, and that gives me the 38% at 15.7, kind of in the middle of nowhere. I like the 50% line from where it is, being 14,600, but I hate the 50% line as a Fibonacci trading tool. The 38% line is my favorite. But if I use the low, like I usually do, that makes it tricky. And my other option is to take the Fibonacci line all the way to the start, all the way to here. And now, where is that 38% line? Now that 38% line is at 13,500, which is a little bit lower than I want to see it. Okay, I really want this 14,000 to be the sweet spot. But this, I like this pullback to 13.5 more than 15.8. Okay, I would be more comfortable with Bitcoin going into 2021 with a pullback to this 38% Fibonacci line. So maybe I should leave that. The Fibonacci extensions I may want to get rid of. What is this? What is that? Oh, that's that high to that low. I see. And those are the extensions from it. I can drop this now because I don't think this is that relevant anymore to clean up my chart. And these support lines I like. Now, there's another way to draw these Fibonacci lines, which I might do. I might use the daily close instead of the daily swing low, because the daily swing low was a bit of an anomaly. And because I'm using the close, I would now use the close on the opposite side as well for consistency. And now I believe my 38% is a little bit higher, not high enough, but it's higher. And it now sits at 13.7.5 instead of 13.4, 13.5, which is better, but it's in a bit of no man's land from the moving average perspective. Unless we start falling very, very slowly to allow the 128-day moving average to catch up. And I'm very, very curious on the 128-day moving average and how fast it will be rising, because I want to see how far back we go on 126 days, 128 days, sorry. 128. Yeah, see, this is not great because it's not bad, but we've already removed all of these low prices. So this 128-day won't be rising as fast. I wasn't sure if like all of these low days were already out. So we're going to be knocking out some of these somewhat high days instead of these low days. So the 128-day moving average is not going to be rising all that quickly. And therefore, it will be very difficult for Bitcoin to touch the 38% Fibonacci at the same time as one of the big moving averages. So once again, we're left in a little bit of no man's land. I don't believe this is good enough to hold it. So I'll leave that, 23% Fibonacci retracement, but I'm looking for something bigger, and I'm going to leave the Fibonacci's in there. I know charts get a little cluttered, but it's okay. I really should look at your questions. I don't have much else to say. Gold continues to struggle. S&P. Are futures trading today? They are, but there's no action. It's not doing anything. So that's pretty much it. That's Fibo's chart. And let me see if there's any questions. Oh, Fibo says take it from the breakout of the triangle. I don't like doing that. I could. Well, I'm assuming it's this triangle to the top. And yeah, that's the one, 16,170. That's the price. I don't know about that. Like, that's not how I do Fibonacci's, but at least I know where you got your number from. Thanks, man. All right, let's not have dead air. So I got a couple of more things to like show you guys. Obviously, like the news about Brian Armstrong. Let me go to my Twitter. Any like real questions, not complaints about people being banned from the live chat? All right, let me go to my Twitter real quick. How do I? There it is, profile. Okay. All right, so here's my Twitter. And like everyone is like, Brian Armstrong was in the news twice. Once because they stopped like leverage trading, I think, or margin trading. And second time was because he's scared that he's going to have to KYC coins exiting his exchange. And he's upset that the regulators aren't taking more of a hands-off approach like they did with the internet. And my only statement to Brian Armstrong is, you know, if only you were in a position to do something about it, to use your billions of dollars to fight the government overreach on data of your customers and, you know, lobby not to have regulation on Bitcoin, but instead you chose to support shit coins and scam people. So I have no sympathy for you or your exchange, because if more people like Brian Armstrong would, you know, speak out against scammers and shit coins and let them be regulated and leave Bitcoin alone because it's politically neutral technological money, you were in a position to do something about this, but you chose to support scams instead. So no, you get no sympathy from me, because you are one of the reasons why the regulators and the government hate Bitcoin more, because of all the scams that people like you don't detest and don't speak out against. So no, this is your fault, not, you know, Munchin's fault. You were in a position to do something about this. You chose not to. Okay. Also, I will be on Real Vision with Raul Paul, and hopefully we will discuss this KYC situation, because a lot of people are very upset with him about this tweet, where he says, and I will quote, if you think that secrecy from governments and no KYC is Bitcoin's future, then you don't understand what adoption looks like. They will regulate it, they will declare it, or you will declare it. You will have to do KYC, and that is fine. It doesn't take away its store of value, but just integrates it. So he is technically correct. It KYCing all your Bitcoin does not take away its store of value. Its store of value is in the code, and that is not going to change. However, well, I'm about to actually contradict myself. Now that I think about it a little bit more, I think this is wrong. Because like what I was going to say is that the store of value property is dependent on Bitcoin's consensus. But if everyone KYCs and no one is willing to run their own node, the consensus rules are very likely to change, because it will be trivial to change the consensus rules when no one is running your node. This is why Ethereum can easily change the consensus rules and go to proof of stake, give people their Ethereum back, reverse transactions. They can do whatever they like because no one is running their own node. So if everyone KYCs, but they still run their own node, then the store of value property will remain intact. But the people that are willing to KYC are not the people that are willing to run their own node. So if no one is running their own node, then the store of value property is in danger because consensus rules can be changed. The other issue I have with this, and I probably should have saved this for the show with Jimmy Song, so you guys may hear it again, is right here where he says Bitcoin's future, then you don't understand what Bitcoin adoption looks like. Well, to me, Bitcoin adoption is both store of value and the medium of exchange. But I don't see Bitcoin being adopted as a medium of exchange under KYC regulation. Because if everyone's Bitcoin is KYC'd, then Bitcoin isn't needed for a medium of exchange. And then its only use is of store of value, assuming people run their nodes. So Bitcoin under this environment, assuming that everyone KYCs, but they're still willing to run, validate their own transactions through their own nodes to keep the store of value property, I don't see Bitcoin being any more useful than gold. And is gold useful? Well, sure. Gold, prior to Bitcoin, gold has been a good store of value. Not as good as the stock market, but it's a good store of value if you are scared of inflation in your country. So Bitcoin will be nothing more than slightly more useful than gold. Maybe then Peter Schiff will fall in love with Bitcoin if everyone is KYC'd and its only usefulness is about as useful as gold minus the cufflinks. So there's lots of things here to discuss and why. I really should have saved this discussion with Jimmy. You will hear this again tomorrow on the news show. Other than that, I'm really pissed about the whole COVID insanity. Okay, next. People were also talking about a 3-day Bitcoin chart, which I sometimes look at and usually too late after good shit already happens. So let's see what that looks like. And there it is. The double MRI top perfectly calling Bitcoin on the 3-day chart. I believe I did look at this a week or two ago, and we were going into this 3-day top. People pointed out how they used it really well to time it. And now people are asking about the 479-minute chart. Oh boy, I don't want to talk about the backstory of the 179-minute chart, but it is something I like paying attention to. I have it saved as a preference of time. Let's see how that did. How did the 179-minute chart do? Waiting for MRI. Well, wasn't great. It's been better on this time frame in the past. Not this time, unfortunately. Let's go back to the 4-hour. Okay, man, I want to get to some of your questions if they're good. Just about its all-time high, but GBTC is still way off its all-time high. Is this some kind of a divergence or just an artifact of the premium? It's an artifact of the premium. What happened to the random number generator? You're looking at it. All I see is random arrows and letter generator. Yes, the numbers are in the background. You could display the numbers. Those that have access to the MRI can display the background numbers in multiple ways. Lots of customization here. So once I do this, you will see all the numbers come up in the background. They're all there. I just wanted a clean indicator. I wanted to clean what matters. I mean, the stars are optional as well. What matters in my trading are stars and arrows. But yes, the numbers are there. If you have access to this indicator, there's a video that educates you on all these things. Okay, one last thing. How many live viewers we have? We got 600. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm going to get to some of your live questions. I'm going to pitch once again. Oh, lots of, deals for Black Friday. Look, guys, the TradingView thing, it's only for new customers. So if you already have a TradingView account and you sign up through my affiliate, I don't think I get anything from TradingView for that. But if you're going to create a new account, if you happen to create a new account, they're giving you 60% off right now. I think TorGuard is giving you 50% off right now as well for Black Friday. I don't know if you get 50% of 50% if you use my coupon code on Black Friday. I have no idea, but you can give that a shot. And here's the other stuff. I am gonna, it's not really a sales pitch because of how well the indicator has called many things, especially this week, not to mention gold at the top. It did it on monthly too. See the monthly right there? There was a gold monthly MRI top right there. And in line with the weekly MRI top that allowed me to call it really well. And I believe there was something daily as well. Let's see. Yeah, daily was extension B and C ending right at the high. So the indicator, well, I dropped the price like 50%, not as much anymore. Now that Bitcoin crashed, now the price drop is only 30% or 35, but it was 45 to 50 the other day. It's still set at 500. Someone like sent me this thing. I'm gonna go through it real quick. Just want to show you guys. This is one of my MRI experts that puts together many charts. So just look at some of this stuff. This is Bitcoin on a CME future daily chart. Triple consecutive MRI top with extension B right at the high. That's he just sent me a few examples. Here is the shitcoin Cardano, and it had its daily MRI top yesterday. Yesterday or the day before. So I don't know. This is 23rd. Well, it called it right there. These are like today's charts, or yesterday. This is probably today's charts. So yesterday called the top. There's just some of them. Thanks for putting those together for me. Here's one more. Oh, wait, that's too small. Let me do this. There you go. That's better. Here is, what is this? The Binance shitcoin top right there. Now, Bitcoin didn't have its daily top, but the shitcoins apparently did. Here's also Binance coin on. So what the hell is the difference? Maybe it's the same thing. Here is Ethereum, the shitcoin, also MRI top perfectly. It's just easier for me than pulling these up on my TradingView. This is the LinkedIn shitcoin. Actually, it's more of a scam coin. There's a difference between shitcoin and scam coin. So linked, not LinkedIn, sorry. The Link scam coin, perfect top with the MRI. Nice bottom buy too right there. Not that I would. This is the Stellar scam coin. Top right there, MRI. What else we got? Oh, wow, the sushi scam. I didn't know that was still around. Crap. Sushi scam, let's see. Boom, right there. Second consecutive MRI top. Down we go. A few days ago. What else we got? This is, I don't even know what scam this is. SNX, no clue what that is. But whatever it is, oh, look at that. Daily MRI buy inside a weekly MRI buy. And this thing went 100% right into an MRI sell. So this is why I respect this indicator. It tracks the momentum of traders. The asset doesn't matter. It's the time. It's the time that matters. It's time in percent reference of price, basically. And whatever this is, Atom. That's another scam coin. Down we go, right on the MRI top as well. And this thing keeps going. Oh, this is the new one. This is the banned scam coin, which is supposed to compete with the chain link scam coin. And this thing also topped on the MRI top. And like we can keep going. Well, like so much topped this week with the MRI. All right, I'm gonna close these things. Okay. So let's see the price. This is the 4-hour chart. And we're still kind of going down. Hey guys, I do want to enjoy my Thanksgiving day. I guess I could quickly look at a couple of questions, but I don't know if I'm going to do a long Q&A today. I don't really want to talk about CoinJoin. Please Google it and learn about it. Can you take a look at NKLA? I don't know, maybe. NKLA, let's see. It looks like it topped and down we go for a little while. If we have another lockdown, do you think that would weaken the dollar? Probably, yeah, but not as much as the election fraud will weaken the dollar. The election fraud weakening the dollar is way worse. Did you check the monthly open of November? This would align. Let's look at the monthly when the month ends. I'm going to do more monthly analysis when the month is over. Whoa, what happened there? Thank you for your super chat, Salem. I will definitely do a lot of monthly analysis at the end of the month. My favorite Thanksgiving food? I tweeted that out. There's not that much food on a Thanksgiving table that's in my favorite list. My favorite foods, even in my family, don't go to the table on Thanksgiving. It's only turkey. Because if there's any other food, then no one's going to eat the turkey, as I tweeted out from one of my relatives. Tesla on hyperwave. Let's wait till let's wait till the month is over, or at least this week is over in the stocks, and then I'll try to take a look at Tesla from hyperwave perspective. Someone is saying my video is small. I have no idea. Looks okay. I don't eat vegetables, guys. So any soup that has vegetables is not of interest to me, no matter what country they're from, Russia or otherwise. Let's see what we got. What was that stock? BZRX. I don't want to look at shit coins. I thought it was a stock. I'm not looking at scam coins, guys. I'm not an expert on VPNs. I don't know what is the best. I have several. But I have no idea what the best is. Well, the reason I keep mentioning election fraud is because I have eyes and a brain, and I can see what's happening. So whether Trump wins or not is irrelevant. All of his evidence, whether the courts approve it or not, is going public. And the public will decide based on that evidence if there was or wasn't election fraud. See, here's what people are dismissing. When you say, Tone, prove election fraud, my answer to you is, are you proving that there isn't election fraud? So Trump is presenting a lot of this evidence to the court, and some of it is, I'm sure, is getting thrown out. Okay. But just because the court threw out that evidence doesn't mean that in the public domain, once fully available, it won't be investigated by those that care whether this evidence should have been accepted by the court. So either way, all of that evidence is actually going to be in the public. So when you guys tell someone like me, prove that there was fraud, where is your proof that the evidence being presented and thrown out by judges is not good evidence? And the reason is you are not looking at that evidence. You are also relying on the judge throwing that evidence out. And considering how everyone hates Trump, I'm not surprised that judges are throwing it out. And mainstream media hates Trump. So they are not actually covering the evidence. Tell me who in the mainstream media is going to look at the evidence thrown out by a judge, analyze it, and say, maybe the judge made a mistake. Is anybody doing that? And the answer is, I haven't seen it. Now, I can try and do it, but I have better shit to do with my time. And I don't think I would be very good at it. But right now, that evidence that is being thrown out by the courts is not being critically scrutinized by the general public. Everyone is either screaming, show me the evidence, or they're screaming, the judge threw the evidence out. But no one is actually doing a deep dive at the evidence. And I'm not doing it either, but I'm waiting for someone to start doing these deep dives. But I'm not anticipating the results of the deep dives into Trump's evidence until January, February, maybe even next, like March of next year or November of next year, whether Trump is or isn't in office. Okay. Trump winning at this point does not matter. It matters for other things, but not for election fraud. It doesn't matter. The election fraud is going to be exposed in the public domain. Whether Trump gets, remains in office or not. And I am leaning to Trump not remaining in office. My opinion of Trump is irrelevant on this point. The point is that the evidence that Trump is trying to get reelected with will eventually be fully scrutinized by the public domain. And then if a significant chunk of the US population, and especially a significant chunk of the world, not politicians of the world, non-politicians of the world, the more people around the world believe the evidence of election fraud, whether it got Trump elected or not, will deteriorate the strength of the dollar and the strength of the US as a global superpower. And look, we can say that Trump in a few decades, Trump could be referred to in the history books as the worst president in the history of America, because he took down American democracy with his allegations of fraud. However, if I was writing that book, I would say Trump was one of the best American presidents, even if his allegations of fraud took down America because he exposed election fraud. And whatever country is the next global superpower, hopefully they will learn from this stupidity of the 2020 election and maybe not put Trump in a position to claim election fraud. You know what the best way to avoid the situation is for the Democrats to have been more transparent and for the voting machines to be more transparent. You know, don't blame Trump for calling a spade a spade. You know, don't blame Trump for telling the world the words Dominion and what's the other software that is used in election machines, right? So had that software been open source, had that software did not have, you know, anyone can change the election. So had elections been more fair and more transparent, this would not be a problem, but it is a problem. And whether Trump gets elected or reelected or not is irrelevant at this point. The damage, I want to say the damage has been done, but the damage has not yet been done, but the damage will be done. The damage of election fraud is now unavoidable. This has nothing to do with who I voted for. This has nothing to do if I like Trump or I like Biden. Has nothing to do if you like Republicans, Democrats, communists, libertarians. It doesn't matter. The stigma of election fraud is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is the potential big downfall of the US. Now, am I contributing to making that, am I contributing to making the situation worse? Probably, yes. But that's also because I want fair and open elections. And to me, it's clear that the United States has no interest in a clear, honest, open election. And therefore, I have no problem with the next global superpower, whether I'm alive at the time or not, because it's coming. Hopefully, the next global superpower will not be, you know, a country like China, which is even more, you know, in the dark than the US, but some other country that wants to be more transparent and give their citizens, you know, rights to protect them from their own government. Right. Well, that's the thing. I don't think the damage has been done, but I think the damage will be done. I think the damage is just getting started. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop the damage. You can't. If Trump gets reelected, he's going to use his power to actually put politicians in prison that cheated. And if Trump doesn't get reelected, which is what the majority in Congress want, then Trump will make it his life's mission until he dies to expose these politicians so that they are absolutely hated by every single American. So there is no win-win. There's only a lose-lose. No matter what happens, it's bad. And the only way this situation could have avoided is with honesty and transparency in the election, not giving Trump the opportunity to do this. And I'm not sure why I was looking at some random stock instead of just being on screen share. And this is the problem that nobody wants to acknowledge. You know, everyone is like, oh, Tone is sour because his guy lost. Oh, Tone's a sore loser. Why doesn't Trump concede? How come you don't like socialism? Those are emotional statements. My statement that the damage to the U.S. democracy is only getting started is a, as a bipartisan statement, regardless of who the next president is. Even if whether we have one or not. Like, again, if no one's president, it's Nancy Pelosi. It doesn't matter. The damage that is being done to the U.S. democracy and the strength of its currency is just getting started, and it's all political. All political. Nothing to do with how much they print. There's no conspiracy here, right? Like, I'm not talking conspiracy. Whether there was or wasn't election fraud, it's going to look like election fraud in the eyes of the public, and it already is for me, and not because I'm listening to the mainstream media. I never watch the news. I watched with my own eyes during the election, and I saw what was happening. I agree. Donald Trump was the first independent president in our lifetime. I mean, maybe the first couple of guys were, John Adams, Washington. We had some independent presidents, but you have to go back to the late 1700s, early 1800s for that. Ever since then, it's been lifelong politicians. And Trump was the first independent president, which is why everybody hates him, except the people. And the media has been doing a damn good job making sure everybody hates him as much as they do. No, I think gold is heading to 1750. I've said that back in the summer. Hey guys, so this video has gone on for an hour, and I think that's enough. I'm gonna end it here. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and see you all probably tomorrow for the news show. Thank you, guys.